There's that haunting man I mentioned. The Fade.
Oh dear. It's poor Reldevar.
But the hair is still standing up on my neck.
That was Ernest Reldevar, a scholar who attempted to delve into the deepest regions of the Fade. What's left of the unfortunate man tends to wander. Primed and ready.
I've heard another
I took care of that Fade Explorer.
We are greatly indebted.
He can now rest for a time.
Our collegial allies in the Fade have informed us of several undead banding together.
They have begun to see. Midnight brings music from the depths.
I'm unsure, my friend. Any other might hear it.
If you liked someone, what would you do? To show them you like them, I mean.
Perhaps a stroll through the memorial gardens of the necropolis? Lovely flowers.
Don't, spirits hang around there?
Oh, a few, certainly.
think this wisp wants something. Let's see if we can figure this out. Let's try this again.
At once!
Let's try this again.
I can assist.
I think this wisp wants something. For us? Thanks.
Very generous. Now, what do you have to say for yourself?
Did I miss something?
Since we're here to gather flowers for the dead, I thought I'd teach Manfred some plant names. But I just caught him attempting to wade into a rose bush.
Emmerich, how could you stay annoyed at that face? Skull.
Oh, Manfred. Whatever will happen to you if I pass on?
If?
Ah, there's something I'd like to talk about. Do you know what a lich is, Rook?
An undead mage that's retained their mind. They're theoretical, aren't they?
The idea fascinated me when I was younger. For years, I researched and experimented, spoke with spirits and mages. Then, eventually, I found them.
Who?
The Lich Lords of the Grand Necropolis. Necromancers before me who'd transformed themselves into true living dead.
Incredible. Did the other Watchers know?
Well, the most senior do. You weren't high enough in the Order to be informed. The Liches are the great protectors of the Necropolis, bulwarks against forces that threaten creation. After years of tests and rituals, they granted me my desire, the right to attempt lichdom.
Emmerich, that's amazing.
Is it?
Sounds like the pinnacle of necromancy.
Lichdom is an incredible honor. Immortality, prestige, the most hallowed ranks of the Watchers, as well as a chance to be of service past my allotted years. But there are considerations. Come, we have flowers to gather for the dead.
Okay, but I've got questions.
Blue creepvine. This will do nicely.
So, if you were a lich, it wouldn't be a spirit mimicking you. It'd be your actual soul in the corpse.
It would.
I didn't think. Wait, is that what Vorgoth is?
Oh, no one knows what Vorgoth is. Moon blossoms, famed in verse and song.
Smells like perfume. Do liches have a sense of smell?
I've been told that while some of my senses will dull, others will become available. Other than that, I can't say if the flowers would still hold their bloom for me. Lichdom serves a purpose. There are dark things in creation, threats to both our world and the Fade. The Liches of the Necropolis have the insight and the abilities to oppose them.
And you're joining them when?
Certain elements have held me back. There's no ready instructions for lichdom. The steps must be discovered on one's own over years to be fully understood.
Does the spell to become a lich kill you, or do you have to?
No, mercifully, that falls to another watcher. After my death, my soul will be drawn back into my body instead of moving on to whatever lies beyond. I cannot reveal more, even to a fellow necromancer.
I understand. So, what's holding you back from lichdom?
Even with all my preparations, there's a chance I could die, permanently, during the rites. What cowardice! A promise of immortality, an end to all my fears, and the final veil stays my hand.
That's reasonable. Lots of people are afraid of dying.
Is it? When it keeps me from what I most desire? Traditionally, candidates for lichdom face one final sifting of the soul. If they avoid it, you saw my old colleague.
Hezenkos? She's a lich.
A half-lich, though that hasn't diminished her powers. Until I stop her plans, I won't possess the peace of mind for lichdom. Why don't you select the next flowers, Rook?
Sure. So, what's a half-lich exactly?
Johanna attempted the rites of lichdom and failed. Stuck in her in-between state, she is supremely dangerous, but can't learn any new magic.
No wonder Hezenkos was shouting so much.
No, she's always been...
What about the sifting of a soul that Hezenkos avoided?
The spirits of the necropolis judge whether a candidate is worthy of the power and responsibility of lichdom.
How'd she become a lich without it?
I shared some knowledge when we were colleagues. She apparently put together more than I knew. It would be just like her to skip the rituals, the cleansings, the preparations of the soul.
For a watcher, Hezenkos is pretty harsh on spirits.
We made allowances because of her discoveries. Too many. Spirits are not things to be disposed of.
You really care about them.
They're so susceptible to the world's whims, Rook. Some spirits are dangerous, but how quickly most respond to it. For all she's done, I can't condemn Johanna for attempting lichdom. That freedom from mortality, that divorce from fear. And of course, time to read all of one's books.
Every mage's dream.
But how she's abused her abilities. Are my intentions enough to fare better?
Worrying's a good sign.
We have enough flowers. There's something I'd like to show you. Here we are.
Oh, so these flowers are for...
Yes. If you could place them on the graves, please.
In memory of Rupert and Eleanora Volkarin. They walk eternity hand in hand.
After I became a watcher, I erected a proper shrine to my parents. When I come to talk, I like to think they listen. Well, don't be shy. Introduce yourself.
Rook, also a Morn Watcher. How'd you do? Do you remember your parents?
Some memories are bright. Others are akin to those dim early morning dreams one gets sometimes. Lately, I wondered what they'd think of our current course. The choices ahead.
Your lichdom.
What would they have wanted me to be?
I can tell you what I think they'd want you to be.
What's that?
Happy. You could always speak with your folks, couldn't you?
My parents last saw me as a boy. By the time I mastered my corpse whispering, I was a man. If I woke them, there might be a flash of recognition, or... Besides, if I speak to too many other spirits, Manfred might grow jealous.
Can't have that.
He'd be impossible, I agree.
There's a haunting.
They attack from afar! They're taking fire!
Range incoming!
They attack from a distance!
Yeah. Weird. We finished off a whole group of skeleton.
Interesting that they banded.
It availed.
There are whispers from the levels below.
We shall fight. Prepare well. Farewell.
Abundance.
No. I had to kill a man once who did blood magic on nugs. 100 little pigs with hands came after me. All together in one big writhing ball. Have you ever tried to stab a ball of angry nugs? That was a bad job.
I've got a better one. You know what the Wandering Hills are named for? It's a monster. Big heap of red tentacles that crawls around, devouring everything in its path. The damn thing was a hillside, the size of a village. You try fighting a hill with a sword sometime.
How did you kill it?
Lamp oil. Everything stank of burnt tentacles for miles after.
It's good to see the two of you getting along.
Of course we're getting along. We're professionals.
We're talking business, Rook. Grab a seat.
Is anyone else hungry? Maybe I should cook something.
What about you, Rook? What's the worst job you've ever been on?
Nevin Harding didn't tell you about our hunt for Solus, then?
They don't tell it the way you would.
I mean, it ended with the elven god of lies in my head. Is that enough to win the worst job contest?
You joining us, then?
Fine. I'll cook something, if Rook's staying.
Maybe just for a minute.
Rook's story first. Then Lucanus owes me one about this contract on a Bronto.
Mierda. That Bronto.
What really happened at the Swan? Witness still secret.
Oscar's disappearing from Dogtown. Why? Something to look into.
Did you see what he said in the paper?
Ship got in yesterday. Are the Veilguard worse than
Huh. Some kind of fabulous treasure buried in the city.
Who dies next? Latest chapter of Ophidian Hall. Read it now.
Why don't you care about that?
Those missing buskers performed here. Let's see what we can find. Wine. A lot of it.
I've run into drunken venatori that smelled like this wine. You think they had a party?
They were here for a while, drinking. Waiting for what? Let's check outside. See where they went.
There's dangerous fanatics, then there's Aelia. She's loose in Dogtown, and we're in the dark.
What's the plan?
The Threads and Aelia's Venatori are at war. Quiet, of course. Neither side wants Templars on them. We stay in the Threads' graces. They share what they know.
What about Rana? Can she help?
I told Rana that Aelia's back. She needs the warning. As for help, Rana wants to be an example. Not sure where that goes anymore.
You're worried about her.
I'm worried about everyone. Tired enough to admit it.
Dogtown's protected. What can the Threads do for you?
Aelia's a pain for both of us. Let's talk.
We know people in this town. Neighbors. When they don't turn up on the rounds, we notice. Aelia used the threads for dirty work. Stolen relics, muscle, spies. These people, they disappear.
And you haven't reported it?
We're not looking for attention. Besides, what have Templars and Magisters done for us lately?
We've got you. And you won't stop looking. I've got names, missing ones, all yours. No catch.
We can't let Aelia do this. If what she did to the threads was an opening act...
We won't like the show.
This is war. We find Aelia, we kill her. Give the cult something to think about. You find her, you do the same. Docktown's ours.
To Docktown. From the people who breathe it, bleed for it, no one's got its back like we do.
To a better Docktown. Doing the best we can till then.
You go far.
To home.
Wine. That's blood. Did one of the buskers get hurt? No busker would leave their instrument behind. Strings are broken. Somebody knocked this instrument around. All right. The Venatori are drinking inside. They have a signal for when the buskers finish. The buskers go outside for a drink, they're distracted, then the Venatori ambush them and haul them away. So we don't know why yet, but we know where the buskers were taken. The lookout. Let's find those buskers. Stay ready, though. The Venatori are playing... Another message for us.
Someone trusts will follow the trail.
Still warm. Whoever was on watch just left. Dead. These Venatori, not one of the buskers.
Stabbed in the back. Clumsy.
Empty. Where are they? A restaurant pamphlet. The garden. It mentions performers.
So who left it, and why?
We could approach the garden from the rooftops. That'll give us some cover. We still need to save the buskers. But if this is a trap, let's be smart about it.
trouble scouted.
Venatori, not far from the garden. That's not a coincidence. Let's go in and see if there's any sign of what happened to the buskers. Someone wasn't spending much on their wine.
Pick your poison. We have several.
What can I get you?
Have you seen any buskers from Docktown today?
Ha! I heard those songbirds had gone missing. Ah, you're Rook, aren't you? Done a lot for this city. All right, they're below. Just make...
Nothing else?
Hello? Who goes there? So, are you a fellow felon?
Call me Rook. I've been looking for missing buskers.
Lex Aulos, street balladeer, and sworn enemy of the Venatori, apparently.
How did you piss them off?
Well, say I'd composed a catchy but searing satirical ballad with rhymes for vainglory and excretory. And then Tot said ballad to every performer in town.
And that would do it.
Well, thanks to you and the owner's entirely legitimate seaway access, we live to compose another day. I'll send word to the other performers in hiding. Adieu, Rook. Our ballad needs another verse that mentions you.
This smells amazing. Does all coffee smell like this? Or just the stuff you make?
Coffee has a distinct aroma, if that's what you're asking.
Sorry. It was really rare where I grew up. And expensive.
Try everything once, that's what I say.
I want to, but sometimes I just like having what I like.
Nothing wrong with that. So, Harding, what do you think?
It's... delicious.
You don't have to pretend to like it.
I mean, it's good. It's nice and... warm?
Rook's right. You don't have to pretend. I won't be upset if you don't like coffee.
He really wouldn't.
I know, but... ugh. Sorry. It's just this thing I do sometimes.
Acting so people will like you?
It sounds terrible when you say it like that. I know I don't need to do it. I just do.
Well, everyone you know seems to like you, so you're good.
Good job, Lace.
You must have been pretty tiny as a child.
Where'd that come from?
A tiny dwarven girl in a land of large human farmers.
Oh, yeah. I probably learned pretty quick that things worked out better if people liked me. If they agreed with me, or I agreed with them.
Some people like cream or sugar in their coffee.
Maybe coffee just isn't my thing.
Supper in Docktown?
What's the occasion?
I've got leads to chase on Alia and Docktown's missing people. A few sources will only talk if I'm alone. But if you're around after, you help me uncover all this. Supper's on me.
Sure. Count me in.